Good afternoon, everybody. I haven't been on in a while. As you know, when I do cases, I get bouts of weakness and I feel sick, and it really affects me. The Savannah case, off and on, I've been getting really weak and faint, and I'm not posting any more videos on Savannah on YouTube. Everything on that case from this point on is private for many reasons. I haven't forgot about anybody's readings. I'm going to continue to do them, but this video is only going to be more or less an educational purpose video, just so I can slowly take it slow. With all the cases that I do, I don't just do them online. I do them as well as local. I go to people's homes locally. I walk the homes, I walk the lands of the homes. I do spirit sessions with people locally. I do tarot readings and stuff like that. Just Savannah's case has hit me hard and fast due to multiple spirits coming to me at once. There's a male spirit that comes with her. Kiara showed up the other day with her. Also, Jamie Kloss's mother had referenced Jamie Kloss, so I knew that it was validating that was her mother. But it was just these last few weeks, I feel fine one day, the next I feel really off, and I just do, with my hectic lifestyle, I'm an in-home nurse. I take care of my paraplegic nephew, my autistic son. So I have just so much on my plate, and I haven't forgot about any of my people on here, not at all. I've just been so weak, and I need to take care of myself as well. I am going to be doing one person's video. I was supposed to do it last week. I haven't done it yet. Loving my babies. She's such an angel. God sent, I hear a female saying God sent. I've been so consumed with the Savannah case that I'm literally just becoming weak from it, because I've literally every day, and it's not leaving me any more room for any other spiritual work. But when I go locally, it's like I'm taking on the local cases and I'm doing Savannah's work. I'm answering all my messages, my regular everyday activities, my housework, taking care of everybody, but I'm forgetting myself. I'm actually sitting in my recliner. I'm not in my usual spot. But I will not be discussing the Savannah case anymore on YouTube due to there are people watching. Safety reasons and precautions. I will not give out any more videos or info on her. Like I said, I'm only working with one person. I want it kept private so we can find this girl. Any further of my videos, I'm not giving out any more locations. I will give out initials to names, and that's it. It's too much information being given out to not to say the public in general, because that's the point of videos. I don't want to give out too much info so that the spirit's energy that I get the leads to, I don't want to give out certain information so the bodies can be moved. And I'm not saying happens in all cases, but I think I really need to tone it down on what I say in my videos, so people can't use that and say, oh, okay, she knows I need to get that moved or that cleaned up or taken care of. And I think people out there know exactly what I'm talking about. I do, like I said, have a Loving My Babies. I want to get her reading done. She's such an angel. All of you guys are special to me, and you're very understanding and you're very patient. I really have a special place for you in my heart, all of you. You all mean so much to me. I'm just trying to regain my energy back. I'm doing just right now regular passings, regular passing cases like old age or, you know, just not murder cases. The only murder case that I'm going to be taking care of right now is the next reader, the next person I'm going to be reading for, and that's Loving My Babies right now. And then I'm going to, I think I'm going to switch it to like once every few weeks. And I'll try to do 2 videos once every 2 weeks, just so we have that, you know, form of space so I can keep myself healthy and regain my, you know, energetic. My senses need to be balanced after every time. And it's really tough in murder cases because they weigh me down to this. And it's really hard to keep up in my everyday life and do this work, do local cases and everything else. The spirit sessions that I do for just regularly passed on people, that gives me that balance, but it's really starting to take a toll on me. And I think I need to do, you know, just one of those cases every few weeks and not contemplate on every single case be a murder case, even though I want to help every single person out there, because that's what I want to do. That's my goal. And it's just, I'm becoming more and more and more weak. Being a physical empath and many other kinds, it really affects the body. You pick up on how they were hurt, how they were sick, you know, what they went through. And it really affects me because you carry it around with you for some time until it wears out of the body. That's why it's hard for me to work with cancer patients that have passed, because I feel their illnesses and all that. It's very difficult on me. My sister-in-law, her anniversary of her passing was a few days ago, and she passed away of cancer. And a couple days beforehand of her anniversary of passing, I noticed that I started to get physically ill with my stomach. I started getting massive headaches, and her cancer, it was in her lungs, and it traveled just throughout the body to her brain, to her stomach. And I became so ill that I just could barely eat anything. And the day after her passing, I went back to normal. It's just sometimes the murder cases stick with me longer, and their energy, because it was, you know, the way people passed, that type of energy, because they've been in a place where they wanted to move on for so long but couldn't. Their energy could become stagnant and they become restless, and that weighs me down. And it's just really hard on me. And I try to be there for everybody, and I try to make it a point to help every single soul that I can, because that's what I want to do. That is my goal. One day I hope to go on a bus and just travel and do this, because I think everyone needing somebody needs help. So that's hopefully one day, if Caleb ever becomes more equipped, I'd like to do that. But now that I've spoke your ear off for almost 10 minutes, I'd like to talk about mental illness and having the gift. Mental illness is a bit of a problem for a lot of people with the gift, because they're more or less wired in a way already that they're very sensitive, and some of it can be destructive. Bipolar can be very destructive. My daughter has it, and sometimes it gets really bad. But she has the gift, but she denies her gift. She doesn't want anything to do with it, and that's her choice. Having the gift, I believe, is hereditary. It's passed down. In my family, a lot of the women have it. But in this generation, my sons also have it as well. But people who are mentally ill in different states of different different levels of, you know, schizophrenics. I'm not a doctor. I will not say anything that I say in this video. Do not take it to where I'm right or I'm wrong. I just know what I've experienced. I know what I've learned, and I know what I've studied up on. People who are schizophrenic, sometimes, you know, they're misdiagnosed, and people who sometimes schizophrenic are highly intuitive, highly gifted people. I believe Brian Ladd, he is schizophrenic, but if anybody knows a Brian Ladd out there, you will know that he is schizophrenic. If I'm not mistaken, I believe my sister told me that. My sister Lori follows his page and stuff, I believe, and she had told me that he's schizophrenic, but he is highly gifted, very highly gifted. Schizophrenic is hearing voices, telling you to hurt yourself sometimes, or paranoia, or anything of that version. But sometimes the schizophrenia is not really schizophrenia. You're a highly intuitive, gifted person. And as long as you're not hurting yourself or anybody else, then that's nothing to be ashamed of. It is a mental disease. You should be tested for it if you feel issues are leaning towards that. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but mental illness and the gift is a form of intertwining, and it can be very difficult to handle. I know several people who have the gift but are also mentally ill in a way that it's controlled. Blocking out the gift doesn't make it any easier, I like to tell people, but that's their choice. That's their every given right. No one should judge them on that. The next thing in this video I'd like to talk about is dream state and why spirits come to us in our dream state. A lot of people will say that their loved one has come to them in their dream. Or they'll say, in their dream, they saw, you know, certain aspects of things and it's actually happened, or just a lot of different things in dream states that would usually make people uneasy and feel, God, what was that all about when you wake up? A lot of people don't realize in dream state, our consciousness, it tells us a story. We just have to decode it. And a lot of people don't realize when they see their loved ones in a dream, a lot of people don't realize that their loved ones come to them in their dreams because they can't handle it mentally if they were to show themselves in waking hours. I've seen loved ones in my dream plenty of times, but I also see them in waking hours. So for me, it's just the consciousness is just flipped day or night. Either way you look at it. Consciousness, when we sleep, our bodies are subconsciously telling us our problems, our inner problems, or how we feel or how we should handle a situation. But they also tell us futuristic things. If you can decode your dreams, you can figure out how your day is going to be, or if there's going to be something that comes to you that was a warning or anything like that. I have a lot of dreams that actually happen in waking life. I also can predict in my dreams. I dream of numbers. For me, that is death and birth. I'm going to talk about something else that a lot of people ask me, can I sense when death is near? For people, and I can tell when something bad is going to come, but it's the feeling that overwhelms me. How another ways I tell is, when I was little, I remember my mom talking about what she would call the death knocks, and I believe how the story goes is we were related to a monk of some sort, and he had closed himself in with jewels he had taken, and he had closed himself in, and as he grew near to death, he tried to get out, and he would knock, and he would yell. And so how the story goes is, when somebody in our family or our friends are near death, we'll hear the knocking. We'll hear 3 loud, distinctive knocks. So back to my video. Caleb needed me. So back to the death knocks. When we have family or friends that are going to pass, we hear 3 distinctive loud knocks. But the other person that you may be in bed with, your spouse, or you are going to be the only one to hear it in our family. I've heard them 4 or 5 times in my life, and that's because of the people that passed my family. My sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, my nephew, my father. Just, you'll hear 3 loud booms in the middle of the night, and it's like right over your head. And it's like, it'll wake you up out of a dead sleep. But like my husband, he's like, I'm like, did you hear that? And he's like, no. And you literally just have to okay, then we know it's coming. But you don't just hear them once. You hear them over and over and over again until usually the night before the passing of somebody. The loudest one I ever heard was my Aunt Ellen. The night before, the pound was so loud, I could have swore my wall shook. And I had woke my husband, and I had told him, honey, something's wrong, something's coming. And the next day we got the phone call that she was in a car accident and she was impaled by a logger truck. And it took us a while, to get over the fact that how the accident even occurred. But it's things like that. When the Sandy Hook shooting happened, the day before, I had went and got Caleb from school, and this is before his health took a turn for the worst, and he had to be homeschooled after a while. And I had been on the street, and I was behind a small bus, the little buses, and I just remember looking at the back of the bus, the little black window there, and immense sadness came over me to the point where I had to pull over, and I was crying, and Caleb didn't understand why. And I didn't understand it either, because I was like, why am I crying over seeing a school bus? It couldn't have been maybe our little boy was on, or little girl was sick on the bus. I thought that originally. But the very next day, it hit me why I did that. And it was so sad. It just, that hurt my heart so bad for the longest time. To see all those little beautiful children, and the gun violence, but it's things like that I pick up on. A lot of people don't realize they're actually picking up on things through the day, and they think it's something else. Oh, what a coincidence. Or, oh, they don't logically take it in, I guess you could say. A lot of people just overlook it as something of coincidence or something to that matter. And when really they're getting warning signs of things that happen before they happen. I knew my oldest son was going to be, my firstborn son was going to be born very sick. I had a dream of him, and I had a dream about his arms and his legs, and they looked deformed, and which made me nervous because I knew if I had that dream, something was going to happen. He was in fact born with a problem with his hand on his right side and his foot on the right side, and he was also born with a heart issue. Things like that, it makes you, worry about the dreams that you have, because once the dreams you have, they come true, it's hard to cope with, and it's very important that you have a support system. You have somebody to talk to. There's just so many things in this video that I want to touch base on. The mental illness thing, though, a lot of people who are mentally ill are also gifted, but they don't realize it because they're told they're mentally ill. And some of them are. A lot of them are, but that does not mean they're not gifted. I've had quite a few questions on that one. People ask me why I have Good Witch at the end of my title on my page. I am a person who grew up in the church. I believe in a higher power. I believe in a God. I practice healing with herbs. I use crystals. I use all of that. I don't pretend to be something I'm not. I have Good Witch at the end because I believe I practice a form of a Wiccan, and that does not make me a bad person. I don't hurt anybody. What people don't realize is being a Wiccan is using, medicinal purposes of herbs, crystals, you name it. I don't do any dark things or anything I don't do any of that stuff. I believe in God. I believe in angels. I believe in heaven. I believe in all that stuff. You don't have to be one thing to be, a religious figure or practice religion. One other question I had was, do spirits follow me home from the cemetery? When I had visited my sister last year when she first passed away and she was buried, I did have a male attached to me. I got very sick. I got very hot on one side. And I did have to cleanse myself off. Spirits can attach themselves to you, absolutely. It's just how you release it. A lot of people don't realize things aren't as scary as they're told. The unknown is scary because that's what we're taught. We're taught the unknown is scary. We're taught that spirits are evil if they come and speak to us. We're taught that, heaven and hell, all this other stuff. What we're not taught is we create our own heaven, we create our own hell by what we do in life. If you live a good life, you live a good life. If you do, I believe the soul is evil or the soul is good, not the body. What do you think controls the body? Soul. I do not work with dark energies. I do not work with spirits that have murdered people. That's why I don't work with serial killers. If they were evil in life, they're evil in death. That's how I see it. The gift being hereditary, I had that one. That is a true fact, I believe, because in my family, I've seen it. In others, I've seen it to where it's passed down. It can be passed down from your father. It can be passed down from your mother. It can be passed down from your grandmother. It can skip a child. It can go to the next child. My granddaughter is very gifted, Riley. She is, no two mediums see the same spirits. We don't see the same energies. My granddaughter, she's picked up on a spirit in my yard that I didn't pick up on. And she had spoke about him the whole summer one year until one night we took the dog out and she's like, Nani, there's the monster man. That's what she calls him. But she talks about it as if it's just normal because I don't make her feel scared. I don't make her feel unloved or unwanted. This is who she is. This is what I have to teach her, that it's okay to be because this is who you are. I do believe that it's hereditary. I do believe that it's passed down from one generation to the next. Just depends on who it gets passed down to. And there's obviously reasons for it because it can be one child couldn't handle it the way another child would. More mentally capable of having that stronghold to it, so where it doesn't get you, because this can be very challenging mentally, and it makes you question things, and it makes you feel crazy. I've had this half my life. My husband didn't even know about it until now. It would be 11 or 12 years ago. You fear your fear of judging, your fear of being looked at it like crazy. There's just a lot of things that people do that they judge. Instead of trying to understand that person, they automatically assume, you know, this person's a fake or this person's this, or even on the level of not being gifted, people are judged just for the sneakers they wear, just for the clothes they wear. And telling people that you're gifted is not an easy task because their first thought is you're crazy. But I've come to terms with who I am and what I am, and I don't really care, as I say before. Do I have dreams of children being born that haven't been born yet? Yes. To that question, I dreamt about my nephew, Tyler. I had a dream about 3 little baby boys. I was laying on the bed. We were playing together, you know, laughing, and I had gotten up, and he had sat up and looked at me, and he smiled, and his eyes were so blue and so beautiful. And when he was born, his eyes were blue, but I didn't think anything of it at the time because a lot of babies are born with blue eyes, but they change with time, and they go to like a neutral, like a brown, or you know, I have green eyes. My son was born with blue eyes, but they turned green. And I had realized at the moment, just because he's only a few months old, I held him and he looked at me and he smiled at me and his eyes were that crystal blue, and I realized he was the baby in the dream that I dreamt about. That same smile, the same eyes, the same hair, the same ears. I had somebody ask me about, what do tornadoes mean? What do flooding mean? And it's strange that they ask that, because I actually, when I dream of those two things, that means when you dream of a tornado, it depends on where the tornado is in the dream. Is it far off in the distance, or is it close to you? Or are you experiencing the tornado as if you're being taken from a tornado? A tornado representation is a family quarrel, like a bad one. Like it's going to be a bad argument, possibly a fight within the family. It depends on how close it is to you. That can mean you, as in you're inside your family's home, or it can be a relative, or if it's even further away, it can be something else. Flooding is another one. Flooding is, if you see a flood or dripping waters, I've come to learn that is like almost a bad omen for me when I see it. Not in a sense that, you know, someone's gonna die or anything like that. It just means I'm gonna have a really rough week and things are gonna happen and I have to learn how to cope with them. Like the car is gonna break down, or just, you know, we're gonna get really sick inside the house or something like that. I'm working with decoding dreams because I've learned a pattern with my dreams. Numbers, like I said, mean death and birth for me. And when they add up to the same number, I can dream about all sorts of different numbers. It's the fact if they add up to be the same number, that's when I know someone's going to be born or somebody's going to pass. Another omen I get is if I'm up all night and I'm highly anxious, I'll get sick to my stomach, or I'll get very, very worried and I can actually cry. That'll tell me something is coming also that is bad. I did that not too long ago, and my daughter and my best friend Maria, I believe her niece, my daughter and her niece both miscarried at the same time that very next morning. I had a friend that passed away years ago, and he came to me that night and told me, and he also, you know, when he passed away, he had showed me what had happened to him, and I got a message literally 2 minutes later from my friend, and she had told me what had happened, and I said, I know. Things like that, you have to build up a wall to, because you have to get used to hearing things like that once you've already seen it coming or felt it coming, because it's just going to make you feel lower and lower and lower. And you just, if you're going to live with this gift the way I do, you have to build a tolerance to it. You can't just break down every time something happens. You have to be strong. You have to understand that everything happens for a reason, and you're warning of it. And that's the best part about this gift for me, is I have a warning system. Riley, my granddaughter, she's actually dreamt about her aunt coming to her and telling her in the dream that my son needs to fix his car so it doesn't go boom. And when my granddaughter says her aunt comes to visit her, that's, to me, important, because she tells my granddaughter things and relies them to me, which is funny, because my son's car, actually, he didn't tell anybody about his car needing to be fixed. And the pieces to the back of his tires were actually really bad and almost caused him to get in an accident the day before, and he never told me because he knew I would have been upset. But my granddaughter spooked him, and he got his car fixed. But the moral of the story here is, with all the questions that I've answered, as hard as it is to cope with a gift, you have to put yourself on a level of understanding that signs and the way we are shown things, pay attention to everything, because sometimes, a lot of the times, things aren't just coincidence. I can't say that so well. I'm sorry, my mouth is dry. And try not to overlook things a lot, or think things are just, oh, that was just, you know, whatever. You have to think of it in a way as you're being shown a sign. And it's okay to be laid back and say, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's absolutely fine. I like to be prepared personally, just because I've lived this way all my life. And I just like to know what I'm in for. You know what I mean? And my granddaughter, she's very, 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 very gifted, and she's only 2 years old. So I can't imagine how she's going to be in the next 5 years. Teaching her how to be normal in this state of mind I want it to be to her as easy as breathing air. My husband, he's gotten used to it. He just says, I'm going at it. I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to make sure, you know, if you need me, just call me. It's okay. He's just used to it. But it takes a toll on me physically. Just, I get the hives. I get markings all over my body. And a lot of people think, oh, that's evil spirits. They're attacking you. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not at all. When a spirit passes from a murder and a physical empath picks that up, being a physical empath, you really have to prepare yourself if you're going to do this kind of work. And I do prepare myself a lot. I cleanse a lot. I do all of that. It's just, I'm not just one type of empath. I'm at least 6 or 7 different kinds, and it's tough to nail down one, you know, one here, one here, one here. You have to totally, being with an ability, you have to use your mind's consciousness a lot, because you have to be in a state of mind to where you can block things out. You can work at a state of mind to where you're using grounding and centering and white lighting and healing. All of this stuff matters. And sometimes when spirits come, they don't come alone. They don't come alone. They come with multiple. And that's where I get screwed up. Because when I get multiple spirits come to me, being a medium, they use your energy to stay as long as they do. And when you have multiple, you're drained very quickly, and I mean quickly. And that's what happened to me the last few days. I've been massively drained, and I mean so fast that I almost could have fainted, because there's so many that want help, and some step over each other, and it was really difficult with Kira there. And there was like 4 people here the other day, and it was like wham. It was like a door, pow, just hit me right in my face. Hold on, sweetie, I'm almost done, okay? Yeah. You want to come say hi to all my subscribers? I'm back again. Sorry, I don't edit my videos. You guys are going to see me just the way I am, or, you know, you're going to see and hear things that I don't edit out, because you want to see somebody how they really are. You don't want to fix things all the time. I was going to have him come say hello, but he said no, so I don't force him to do that. But at the end of everything I've just said, I will be getting to my dear angels reading Loving My Babies, and I told her I only need her first name and her sister's first name. That's really it. That's all the information I ask, is just the first names, so I know who exactly it is that I have to get the reading to and reading for. So I am going to also be doing a live so everybody can come on and say hello and ask me some questions if they need to, as long as it's a minimal amount. I'm trying to save the energy that I have. You can ask me questions, you know, about issues you may have or things that you may need to know about. Things like that you can ask. I've never done a live before, so I'm going to try. The one thing on the live I will ask you is, please do not ask about any of my murder cases. I cannot get into locations or anything like that. I'm just doing things a little bit differently now. If it's personal to you, I can try to help you answer them, or see if maybe the people that get on, maybe they can try to have a loved one come over, and maybe I can say a name or something like that. That might come through at that given time. But that is really it for the video. I just wanted to do, you know, more or less an educational video, and some questions answered at the same time, so I don't do two separate videos. And then I will, I'm gonna give myself a few more days I do have a local reading tomorrow at somebody's home. Walk the property and see how things are going there. That's just a regular, like I said, a regular reading. It's not an actual case to where somebody's life was taken, I don't think. And then I'm going to get to the Loving My Babies video. I was supposed to, like I said, supposed to do it last week. I just haven't gotten to it just because of my energy level. And then I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks again. So I'm going to try to do a couple videos, like I said, and then wait a couple of weeks just so I can regain myself and give myself that time. It helps out a lot. So this is going to be the end of my video, and I've missed you all, and I'm trying to answer everybody's questions back. I don't have somebody to answer my questions for me. You're actually getting my messages back from me personally when I message you back. A lot of people have people that answer their questions for them, and that's why it's so difficult between answering all the hundreds of questions, the readings people are asking for. I'll help anybody with a reading. It takes so much time, and I apologize for that, but this is the way I work. So I'm doing this all myself, so it's very, very, very time consuming. And a lot of energy is taken. Sorry, I was hearing something at that moment. So I will be posting this video in a minute, and I wanted to, like I said, thank you all. I miss you all. I always think about everybody on here that messages me. It's a lot of work to do the videos and answering all the questions, but I just want to say I appreciate everybody's kind comments, nice words. The negative comments, if I put a laughing emoji at you, that's just me, because I just don't care about your negativity. You could say what you want about me, I don't care. I laugh at it now. That's really it. To those who are supporting and loving and kind, from my heart, I appreciate everything you say, all the kind words, all the support. So I just want to tell everybody goodbye, and I will be back on here within the next few days. I have a goal, a mission to do that very reading. And I also am going to do another, I try to do a reading and educational video and post them so people can get more of an understanding of all this is. What this really is just, you say what you hear, you say how the feelings you get and what comes through basically. You can't get no more basic than that. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your positive comments. Thank you for your support. I love you all. Even if you're nasty to me, I still thank you. And I keep it moving. So just realize, people, that you're never alone. The spirit world is always around us. Okay? Bless everybody, and thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.